Welcome. Just had an awesome, freaking amazing bicycle ride. You guys like my beautiful bicycle? Oh yeah, it's awesome. But man, I tell you, I am so happy to be here with you today on this awesome Thursday. March, don't know what day it is, but it's March something or other. And excited to be able to do this live video with you today. I've got lots of fun things that I want to share with you. Boy, I'll tell you, these bicycle rides are so freaking cool. The weather is just perfect out there right now. I get about a 10 to a 15 miler in just to get the exercise going, get the blood flowing, all that stuff. So anyway, I'm going to change out of the riding shoes and get in the comfy shoes. Lisa, come up here a little bit closer. These babies are the best shoes ever. And I am going to, right now, take this little camera if I may. And I am going to introduce my sweetheart right here, Lisa Clark Price. And she is really, really, really cool. And I'm going to tell you why. Come on out here for just a second. I'm going to just show you something that is so cool. And you're going to go, oh my gosh, that Lisa gal, she's awesome. Okay, see right out there? Right out there. Do you see that teepee out there? This awesome lady right here does women's retreats and children's retreats and couples retreats out there in that cool teepee. So
you're sweet.
Sweetheart, I want to thank you for videotaping me today and being my videographer.
You bet.
Here in the studio. Let's get right to it. I told you today that for this first session, I want to share with you the principle of synergy. And this is a piece that we have in our house by our fireplace. Lisa, maybe come up real close and just take a look at it and in and out and all that. You'll notice the unbelievable detail on this thing. Many years ago, I got a bunch of people together, friends, family, employees and stuff, and I wanted to come up with a design that represented community, that all of us coming together. I had sculpted a piece before of just two hands connected like that, but I wanted to do something that represented a whole bunch of people. And so I started playing with designs and that and got all these people together and came up with this design. And then, you know the stuff that they make dental impressions with? I think it's called alginate. And they put it in your mouth and you chomp down and it sets up in a couple of minutes. Well, I used that same material, the alginate, and after I got the hands all set up, I built a box around it and poured that stuff in there. And then they pulled their hands out, and then I had an awesome mold out of alginate, and then poured it full of plaster, and then this is the net result. So this is the actual piece with all the detail, and alginate is so cool because it picks up everything. And so this is the actual piece of synergy. And then since doing this one, I've done a whole bunch of different sizes. Let me grab a couple over here. Whole bunch of different sizes of the synergy. Some of them have 5 hands, some of them have 6, different versions, and then also made a couple of pendants out of them. There's one there. And this one here. So it's just been a fun piece. A lot of people ask me, Gary, what's your favorite sculpture? Which one of all the ones you've done do you love? And I think I keep coming back to this one because it represents that we're all connected, that we're all one, and that we're in this, this crazy cool journey together. So. One thing I wanted to mention too, especially for kids, I think we've all been taught, right, that 1 and 1 equals 2 or 2 plus 2 equals 4. well, what if I told you that 1 and 1 equals 3 or 5 or 6? What if I told you that 2 plus 2 equals maybe 10? And let me tell you why. Because last night we were in our kitchen and we were talking to some of our kids, and they brought up this idea that, wow, Gary, everybody's going through lots of challenges right now, and we're kind of all stuck at home, and you know, a lot of people are bored and don't know what to do. And they said, what if you got some clay and did Facebook Live and shared with people what you do and some cool ideas? And I thought, wow, how cool is that? See, I wouldn't have come up with that at all. You know, just busy doing my thing in that. But they came up with it. And so there were 3 people that came up with that idea. And now, I don't know how many are on this live Facebook thing, maybe hundreds. It could eventually be thousands. That's what I hope. But see, 3 or 4 people now equals 1,000 people, and maybe more than that. And so it's that whole idea that when we come together and we have an incredible idea, we share it with others. Or if we need a great idea, we get with other people who have great ideas, and then, you know, and people that are smarter than us, people that have different experiences. And that's that beautiful thing right here. Every one of us is a part of this. Every arm is so important. And if you take out one of these arms of this beautiful wheel, it flops around, right? It doesn't run really smooth. So it takes everybody to do this. So anyway, that's my philosophizing there about synergy and what it means. And I'm sure that it'd be something cool that you can talk to your kids further about. But okay, now let's get down to the fun stuff, the business. And there are lots of different materials that you can use for sculpting. They make this beautiful. Now what I use an oil-based clay. This stuff never, ever, ever sets up. There's some sculptures in my studio here that are 10, 20 years old, and it's still nice and soft like this. It's called plasticine or oil-based clay. And I just love working with this stuff. Some artists like working with a water-based clay, and it sets up and it's hard, and then you have a hard copy. But this stuff, you have to make a mold on it if you want to make a hard copy. Also, a lot of people love Play-Doh. Play-Doh is really, really fun, because what's cool about it, of course, and probably every kid on the planet has played with Play-Doh. What's cool about it is it's nice and soft, smells good. You could probably eat it and it wouldn't kill you, but I don't recommend it. But also what's cool about Play-Doh is you end up with a hard copy. What's maybe a little bit more challenging with it is it crumbles a lot. A lot of times it doesn't stick as well to itself as it could. Where this stuff, it sticks really, really good. You can squeeze it and boy, it just sticks so good. But what you can do with Play-Doh, so say like if you're making a synergy or something, you can stick a toothpick in it for part of the armature, and then you can add the clay to it and squish it in. And because you have something that's holding it up a little bit, see, you can make it really good. So I always recommend for people, if they're doing Play-Doh, they can use toothpicks or popsicle sticks or something like that for part of it. But Play-Doh works awesome, it's great. And then when you're done with it, you end up with something that's kind of hard, and you can put it on your shelf, you can paint it, whatever. And then also something that's really, really cool is this oil-based clay. You can order it off of Amazon or get it. We usually get it at Hobby Lobby when things are open. But this also is an oil-based clay, but look at all the fun colors. I mean, you can get every color in the rainbow, and you can do, you know, faces with different colors in it. Somebody here made a cool little nest with some little white eggs in it. And so this stuff is really, really fun. I really recommend it. And it's the oil-based clay that never hardens, always stays soft. Okay, so are we ready? You ready to start sculpting? Oh, also one last thing. We posted on our video the recipe for the Play-Doh, the homemade Play-Doh, and Lisa, did you want to mention anything about that?
Just that the recipe that I found online calls for too much water. So cut that water in half. I made this batch this morning. It's perfect with about half that water.
Wow, see, look at this. This is fantastic. And you can make this, what is it? Mainly flour?
It's flour, salt, cream of tartar, a little bit of oil, and warm water. And I think that's everything. Yeah. And
food coloring.
Yep, a little bit of food coloring.
So that's a great way to go if you're stuck at home and can't get out, can't order anything on Amazon, and if you have some extra flour. Maybe a lot of people don't right now. So anyway, here we go. You ready to start sculpting with whatever medium you have? A lot of people ask me about tools. They go, oh my gosh, I don't have a whole bunch of sculptor tools. I'm not a professional, right? Guess what your best tools are, everybody? All you beautiful kids out there. Right here, your digits. These are the very, very best tools. You can do 99% of anything you want to do with these. Now, later, if you want to add a little detail, popsicle sticks are phenomenal. And what you can do a lot of times with the popsicle sticks is you can go outside and on the sidewalk, say if you want it real pointed, you can just rub it on the sidewalk and make a point, or you can do a flat end. It's really fun to shape your own tools. Maybe you want something that is, I don't know, like this, maybe something shaped like that. But you can customize a popsicle stick or even another piece of wood to any type of tool that you want. So it's really easy, but usually right here. So here's gonna be the cool thing about Synergy. So you're going to take your clay, and all we're going to do is we're going to make a long snake. Okay, you ready? So get your clay, everybody, and just roll it like this.
A bunch of new people have just joined. Tell them what we're making.
Awesome. We are going to make this sculpture called Synergy. We're going to have a freaking blast doing it. Now, you can imagine what I'm making here. I'm making a bunch of arms, and they're going to turn out to be arms with hands at the end of them. And you know, a lot of people, they look at a sculpture like this, and they look, oh my gosh, that's so complicated. Or they look at a sculpture like this one of the sculptor, and they go, oh, how in the heck do you do that? Well, guess what? You always start out small. See how that has hardly any detail in it at all? It's just the very, very basics. And for one of our projects, we are going to sculpt a sculptor. But you start out just real small, real simple. You don't worry about any of the detail, which we're not going to today. We are just going to get the basics. But first of all, we're going to make this nice long snake, and we need what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So we'll make something that we can divide into six lengths. And once again, if you're using Play-Doh, once you get this and you cut it up into the lengths, and you're having a hard time getting it together, you can grab your toothpicks and stick it in there and hold it all together. See how easy that is? We're just making our little snake here. We're making it real simple, nothing complicated about it. And yet when it gets done, that looks kind of complicated, doesn't it? But it starts out really, really simple. Are you having fun yet? I hope so. And I hope we have lots of kids joining us that are maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. Remember the beautiful quote by Picasso? He said, "Every child is born an artist. The challenge is how to remain an artist once we grow up." Right? Because back then when we were children, my gosh, there wasn't anything that we could not do, right? We thought that we could fly, we could do anything. And what was cool about those times was our minds were always so creative and thinking about any different possibility to do something. The other day we had a couple of our grandkids over here, and I said, hey, let's get together and do some sculpture. And they said, well, what should we sculpt? And I said, well, whatever you want. I said, what if we sculpted a coronavirus? What does it look like? I said, I don't know what it looks like exactly. So this is what one of them came up with. Isn't that cool? This little Hudson came up with this. And then he ended up doing a, let's see, what, oh, he said this was an alien with a face mask on. And see, one of the things I think is that art is cathartic. It's healing, and when there's something magic about getting ideas out of our head and transferring them through our spirit and our hands. It's just magic. Had another little buddy with us the other day, Emerson. This is he's just totally on his own. This is a volcano. Of course, a little tree there, I think. These are the rocks that spewed out of the volcano. Here's the lava coming out of there. You know, isn't that cute? So, unlimited what we can do. Okay, so we've got our piece here. We've got our long, nice snake. Does everybody have your snake done? Not a detailed snake, just real simple. I'll get me a little bit more room here. Okay. Can you all see this really well? Okay. And we're going to divide this into, what did we say, six arms, right? So first we'll divide it in half. Actually, we need to divide it into thirds, don't we?
Half
Yes.
and then thirds from there, if you want.
So we'll
That's
divide
easy.
it into thirds. That'd be right about there. And then right about there. Okay, so divide it into thirds. Is that right?
And then cut each of those in half.
And each of these in
I'm the math whiz.
Okay, so then we got that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, look at that. We got 6 arms. Aren't those cool little arms? You got your 6 arms? And you're going, well, arms are cool, but we got to have some hands on them, right? Well, this is going to be real easy. You're going to be amazed at how easy this part is to make these complicated hands. And I'm just kind of squishing them out just a little bit so that they're about the same size. Some are a little bit longer than the other. Some are a little bit thicker than the other. Guess what? Same here. Look at that. This guy here, a really strong dude. Here's a smaller hand. We are all unique and different, aren't we? Isn't that one of the beautiful parts of humanity, that everybody is a unique and beautiful miracle? And so let us always remember that. Okay, here comes the fun part. Does everybody have your 6 arms here? Guess what? We're going to make a hand. We squish it. There's a hand. Does that pretty much look like that? Wasn't that easy? All we got to do is just squish it, and there's a hand. Now we could take a piece of clay if we wanted to, and we could add a thumb on there if we wanted to, like that. We could shape it a little bit, you know. We could see how it goes up to the top like that. We could push that in there a little bit, put a little bend in the thumb like that. You know, we could add a little bit of clay here. But for today's purposes, I think we're just going to keep it really, really simple. So you're just going to squish, going to grab each one of these, and you're just going to squish it. And you're going to make you a little hand on there. Right? Okay, so there's two. Got another one here. Kind of cool to make them a little shovel. Our hands are kind of like shovels, aren't they? Yeah, you just shape of a shovel. Got another hand there. Another hand here. Make it a little thinner in the wrist if we want, right? I noticed back we did some homeschooling years ago, and I would have my kids, my boys, all day, 1 day a week. And I noticed most of them, whenever they're sculpting, they had their tongue out like that, and I noticed every once in a while our tongues come out. It's ability to focus, sculpt. Okay. His wrist just a little thinner. See how our wrists are just a little thinner there? Okay. So now here's something that, guess what we're going to do? We're just going to put these together. It's going to be so easy. You're going to be blown away. What I did with this design here was, rather than have all the hands on one, just from one side, notice how I varied them. So like on this one, that hand is like that. This one, I put this one like that, right? And then I just varied each one. So basically, that's all it is. And yes, we have the thumbs there, and we can add that later if we want to for more detail. But for the basics, we're just gonna. So let's pretend like this is that hand right there. Okay. We're gonna grab the hand here, and they're connected at the wrists, right? So that's the easiest place to grab, right there. So it's really a strong grip. You wouldn't want to grab down here, because it's kind of hard. But there, well, you can really clamp onto that. So grab this one. You've got a little thinner. So like this arm is that arm. And grab a hold. That's all it is. And then this one here, let's grab another arm. And sometimes you got to think about it here a little bit. Let's go, okay. That hand is going to grab that one. Okay, and then we got this one here. Well, let's go ahead. Pick up another arm here, and that one is grabbing like that. So we'll have them grab that one like that. Is that starting to look a little bit like that? All right. Kind of squish it together a little bit so it sticks good, not going to fall apart. Okay, now let's grab this one here. Going down like that, right? So this hand is going to grab it from behind like that, squish it. And then look, we've got one more space, right? See, if we don't add that space, that's going to be a pretty lopsided wheel, isn't it? It's not going to go down the road very well. So we're going to grab our last one, and it's going to also go over the top, hook onto that, and then here's the cool part. Here's the connection, the final connection. That one will also go underneath and connect like that, right? Ta-da! That wasn't even that hard, right? Look at that. Look how close that looks like that. that as an angle there. If we wanted to, we could push that and make that angle. That's pretty flat there. This one here is a little angled like that. If we wanted to, we could make that like that. This is the one that holds the whole thing up. That there, right? That there. This comes up about like that. That angle there, see, that's a nice little angle there. So there. See how this oil-based clay, it just sticks? Kind of cool, huh? So, there we go. There is our basic synergy. One thing that I always thought was cool about the synergy is it's kind of like a Star of David. You've got basically a triangle that way and a triangle this way, and it's like two triangles that are, you know, interwoven together, which is basically what the Star of David is, and that's got a lot of symbolism of man going up to God, God coming down to man, and they blend together. I love that. I spent a lot of time in Israel, and it's awesome. Okay, so now here's something if you want to carry this and go further. And how long have we been going here? Any idea?
I don't know exactly. Yeah. Probably 20 minutes.
Maybe 20 minutes or so? Okay, so now, with your popsicle stick, if you want to, and there again, I mean, it's an abstract shape, just like that, right? Seeing kind of at the back. We haven't even touched the back at all, and yet it just self-formed, right? So if you want to, you can come here with your popsicle stick, and you can go, oh, okay, well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 things there. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's see if I can get in there. Dot, dot, dot. Okay. And then push that in there. All I did is just push it down, right? You can see the fingers sticking out here. So you could just push those. There's some fingers. Got this guy's hand over here. So 1, 2, 3, and then you got the 4, right? Same up here. You got those fingers coming around there. Doot, doot, doot. Same with this one here. They're over there. You don't see them that much. This one here reaching down, coming around. Okay, there we go, basically it, right? Does that look pretty dang close to that?
Fabulous.
So, synergy. Oftentimes, I believe that we make things a lot more complicated than they need to be. Somebody might look at this and go, oh my gosh, look at all that detail. I could never do that. Talk to a lot of people and they go, I can't even draw a stick figure, right? Well, you really can if you just try. It's just really, really simple. But we think sometimes in too big of steps, and when we reduce it down, things are really, really easy. Like coming together, you know, being unified, putting aside all of our differences, all the things that make us different. Let's think about the things that make us united and alike. So I think that would be my main message with Synergy, that we are all one, we are all connected, and that you know, when we practice the ability to come together and realize that, yeah, a lot of times 1 and 1 equals 5, 2 and 2 may equal 10, and we get together. Why? Amazing, unbelievable things can happen, and we can. I think we can conquer all of our problems when we just come together and work together and play together. Just be together. Okay? Did you have fun? Was that easy? Do you want to do it again?
Absolutely.
I sure hope so, because I've got so many fun ideas that I want to share with you. Like I mentioned, this one here, maybe we'll do that next time. Maybe, see, these are a couple couple of other smaller versions that I have of just the two hands coming together. And you can imagine, so we just did 6. We started with a really hard project there. What if we just, we worked on, you know, something that simple? And what we would do on this one was we would focus a little bit on the detail, right? We'd take our popsicle stick and we'd focus on some of that stuff. Maybe we would start out with a square log and then form something like that. So maybe let's do that next time. But lots of fun ideas. It's unlimited. One of the cool things I'd like to end with is that being an artist is really rewarding in that you never get there. You never master it. It's not like, okay, been there, done that, I'm gonna move on to something else. Because there's always improvement and there's always the ability to get better. Years ago, I did a sculpture called The Student. And it was an old guy. I'll have to get a picture of that and show it to you sometime. Old guy that has a pen, a quill pen in his hand, and a diary. And it's the idea that here's this 99-year-old guy, and it's called The Student. And so we always continue to learn and grow. And remember, I want to end with that one last quote. Every child is born an artist. The challenge is how to remain an artist once we grow up. So there you go. Have an incredible day. See you next time. Rock and roll, baby. Catch you later.